So for those watching, we're going to talk to Courtney today. She's going to give us a quick rundown of, her experience inside the program. So Courtney, go ahead, give everybody an idea. What do you do for work? Where are you located at too?
I actually live in the DMV area, so Maryland specifically, and I am a trauma physical therapist. So I work in a hospital.
Awesome. So quick background on you. Like where were you at right before you jumped inside the program with maybe your physical fitness, like how you were feeling? Just give everybody kind of an idea.
Yeah, so I mean, being an old athlete, well, ex-athlete, I guess I would say, but also in a profession where I have to lift a lot. I was
Hmm.
pretty active. I did work out, so I wouldn't say my strength necessarily was an issue, but had a dot of like fluctuations in weight and fat loss gain. So it was kind of there, kind of stuck at a level, and then wanted to see if anything can help get me on the right path of sustenance and
Hmm.
maintaining goals that I would eventually reach.
Awesome. So did you try anything before? Like I know you said you were an old athlete, but like any apps, ebooks, anything like that?
Random apps like or random ebooks. They'd be like, "Oh, do this 30-minute workout." I did
Yeah.
have a trainer before that did a lot of like hit workouts. It was actually like just a friend of mine that I was helping out. So I never truly did anything like formal. But also in my profession, like we know a little bit about nutrition, but
Mhm.
nothing like extensively. So that's really what I was looking for is having that nutrition piece to supplement everything I already knew about exercise to kind of because
Mhm.
I know like nutrition is 80% of it.
Oh
So
yeah.
trying to dial in on that, and then that's what led me here.
Awesome. And I guess what we kind of say, what was your goal when you stepped inside? I know a little bit learning with nutrition, but anything else?
Mainly fat loss and then maintaining the goals. So a lot of
Mhm.
times, like people don't know this, like you fluctuate a lot, especially women, like you'll fluctuate in weight through months and years of your life. So finding a program and something that works for me that can be sustained long term without truly changing my life, like knowing it's a lifestyle change, but not necessarily creating something that's like going to be detrimental or too strict for my overall well-being.
Okay, I gotcha. Any reason that you decided to invest in yourself? Because you said this was like your first, I guess you can kind of say formal program. Anything that you kind of felt like you needed or reason why you decided to work with us like inside?
Yeah, I was looking. I mean, you guys have like said basically you work on busy professionals. So I work anywhere from 10 to 12 hours a day. So having that background of coaches that understand you're busy and then
Mhm.
can tailor that to your lifestyle. So basically, having that lifestyle change, something that you can put into your daily life and make those changes without being like on a juice cleanse or telling people you can't go on vacation, which I do every couple months, or telling people, oh, yeah, you can't drink. We know we're not supposed to drink, but
Yeah.
like, tailoring it to your life versus like something that can be sustainable, which is something I really appreciate from you guys.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing we see is like people do these programs and yeah, they might lose a ton of weight in the process, but they're just restricting themselves the whole entirety
Mm-hmm.
of it. So what happens when you get done? You just ricochet right back to where you were. And we don't want that for you guys. We want you to understand like you could still enjoy everything and still get results and do it consistently so you don't burn out in the process. So
Exactly.
yeah. How'd you feel about the value inside? I know you also worked with Coach Denise, but how'd you feel about like everything we kind of provided to you?
The value's good, especially the course. I know the weekly calls. Being on the East Coast, I was usually asleep by the time they came on.
A
But
little
having
later.
access to the replays was very helpful.
Yeah.
And then knowing like some of the resources are going to be available to you for life, so it's not something that you guys like you invest in and then you just like cut dry at the end of your program. Like you can refer back and
Mhm.
always have access to you guys, which is a great I think it's a beneficial thing for the course. Whereas most people either you pay for it and then it is what it is once you're done, but you guys give us the workouts and you give us all the tools to be successful after the program is
Mhm.
over.
Awesome. Did it help you like anywhere else in your life maybe you didn't really anticipate when you first stepped in? Like is there something you saw kind of shift, like maybe understanding the education, anything that kind of helped you that you didn't realize was going to help you when you signed up?
The probably non-realizing was probably like the effect of my sleep and my overall energy. I was a terrible sleeper. Working all day, get home, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna lay here. Only slept for like 5 to 6 hours a night.
Yeah.
So getting more energy and understanding like how all that little tiny stuff plays a role on your entire like healing and nutrition and
Mhm.
body in general. And then also like the course and the breakdown of why like fats are important and carbs are important. That
Yeah.
little tiny stuff that makes a huge difference outside of the global thing of I already know that nutrition is important, but the
Mhm.
breakdown of each macro and what it does and why it's so important to you.
Yeah, awesome. And I guess my last question for you would be, maybe somebody's on the fence, maybe they're afraid to invest in a program like this. What would you kind of tell them, if they were thinking about it, but not 100% sure if they should do it?
Um, it's definitely worth it. It's a program that you're gonna have for life. So yeah, if you're on the fence, I'd say do it, but also be willing to put in the work and be willing to communicate. We can always say like, yeah, we're gonna do this program and lose all this weight, but if you don't do the
Yeah.
work, then it's not gonna work. But the
Yeah.
coaches are there to help you and they motivate you. I know my coach specifically was always there, like sending out motivational messages, which was very good. You guys were always open to calls if we needed them. So having that support in your background is something that you can't necessarily ask for anywhere else. So I think that was the main thing is you're going to have the support regardless, and they give you the tools to be successful to sustain in your life.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Courtney. Well, I always say too at the end of these, like one, thanks for trusting us in the process because it is a big step. We want to make sure you're basically trusting us with helping you, educate you, show you what to do. So I'm always grateful for when you guys step in the program. And for anybody watching too, like if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you want to book a consultation just to learn a little bit more about what we do, we're always open to that as well. So thanks again, Courtney.